Today we are in beautiful Quartzsite, Arizona, and the reason I can say that is because today is literally beautiful. The sun is out, the wind is down, and that's all what you want when you're hanging out in the middle of the desert at an RV show. Now, what's great about this show is there's so many different types of vendors, and I'm gonna go ahead and flip this camera around right there so that way so this is along one of the main fairways outside the big tent. Inside the big tent, you're going to have a lot of vendors as well as outside. And I mean, when you see an aerial view of this, it's pretty amazing the sheer size of this show. And there it is, guys, behind me, that Ford Transit Trail. We're gonna get into that in a minute and show all the cool things that are on this build. And this is done by Van Duit. I'll throw that out there as well. We're gonna get into the ins and outs, show what just how killer the build out is on the inside, as well as try to cover any questions that I can as far as on the outside of it as well. We'll walk through it. I know for me, getting to see this transit trail was awesome. I've heard about it, I've read about it, you see posts about it, so to get to see it live is pretty cool. And we're gonna jump into that Ford Transit Trail in just a few minutes. But I want you guys all to know that it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for, you know, Elon Musk and his Starlink setup, because the people right here at AJ's Getaway were kind enough to let me stream on their internet. And so I'm gonna come over here and I have Michelle hanging out in her booth directly across from Ford. So if you want to come by and check her out. So Michelle, tell me a little bit about AJ's Getaway.
So we are a new campground in Heber Overgard, which is the White Mountains of Arizona in the northeast corner. We're between Payson and Show Low. And what we offer is 43 spaces, all pull-throughs that can handle big rigs. We are off-road friendly. As you can see, we have side-by-sides here.
Dude, who doesn't love to take their RZR out and go play? I mean, that's one of the great things about Arizona is you can drive them on the street.
Yes.
So.
Yes, and right outside the property, they're right there. And we're also no age restriction. So as long as your RV is in working condition, your children can come. We will be the campground for you.
That is awesome. So that is very cool. And the best way to get a hold of you guys is going to be
our website, which is ajsgetawayrv.com. And you can also find us on Facebook as well at AJ's Getaway RV Park in Heber Overgard.
So I will be sure later on, guys, to make sure that I tag them and put a link to it. There it is. There's all the information. Pause this video, write it down, take notes. And if you're out here, you'd get to come and get some free koozies. Man, who doesn't have enough koozies, lanyards, and you know, just get to hang out. And that is a great thing. So how's the show been? You love it?
It's been wonderful. We made connections from all across the world, actually. So this is such a fun event. You get to see people from Canada and here in the States and even New Zealand. So it's a great place. It's a great place to meet people, network, and just get out of the cold of the snow right now.
Right.
So
no, I can totally see that. And who doesn't love an American flag blinged out hat? That is pretty awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for letting us use your Starlink. Appreciate it. And we're gonna walk back over across the way and start checking out this Ford Transit Trail, and I will do my best to answer any questions that may arise. You know, let me know what you guys would like to see. My first thing when I walk up to this, you know, of course, I'm a fan of off-road things, and I would say that I definitely like how they have done the 3 lights up on the front, very much Raptor-inspired lights. I think that that is a cool touch. You'll also notice, due to the width of this, I know that they have also added the lights into the mirror as well on the side, which is a really nice feature as well. Now, one big thing I'm noticing as I walk up to this is you're also going to have a camera in the side of this, which is going to be really neat when you're on the trail, being able to see that. I'm not really sure. See, guys, I really just need to take one of these and play with it, have a lot of fun with it. So we are going to notice, as I walk around this thing, I notice one other big thing on here is you're going to notice that big fender flare on there as well. That is pretty cool. So, hey, there's our first question. Hey, thanks for coming out. I'm gonna totally, it looks like Castro 3, J Castro 3. So the lift is nice. This is going to have a lift on it. And you can see, I'm gonna get all the way down here and check out the tires. So you can see that this does have an LT 245 75 16 tire. So definitely going to have a bigger, and now what's nice about this, depending on what you like, me personally, I'm like, I love my 17-inch wheels, but I see the benefit in having this 16-inch wheel because we're gonna get more sidewall, which is definitely going to be beneficial when going off-roading. That is going to be a plus. We're all gonna want that. So I don't have a tape measure otherwise, and boy, the sun is bright. We could actually take a look at the amount of ground. So let's see. So I'm gonna call this, that's going to be about a 12-inch, an 8x12. So as I take that and put that underneath it, you can see that I'm still have about 2 inches. So I'm gonna call that 14 inches from the ground to this new slider on here. And now that is another great feature of this Transit Trail, is it's going to have this step on here that's going to make it really nice to be able to get into. I mean, we all want, otherwise, let's see, as I open this front door, so the difference in this, so if we were to look at this and we were to look at from the step to the entryway is a difference of about 7 inches. So that difference is going to definitely make it easier. Now this seat's turned around so that you can just hang out in the back of this thing. So that's definitely going to make that first step easier to get into there versus having to go all the way up. So something to definitely consider. That's going to definitely be a nice feature on there. So I'm going to put our poster back. So this is the Transit Trail van. And let's see, we could even read it. Let's get out of the shade. So very cool. So with our new trail van, the Adventure comes standard. So in this, as you can see here, many of you may have already seen this, 3.5-inch ride height, 16-inch black wheels. It's going to run a 30.5, or in the metric size, we went over that. So the one thing I love about this is that 3.5 liter EcoBoost V6 power is just awesome. I mean, it drives really, really nice. So the Sync 4, Android, Apple, those are going to be pretty much standard in any, new Ford vehicle, which is going to be nice. That's definitely great, features that you want to have, as well as I imagine this would also have the adaptive cruise control, as most of these do in the new vehicles. So on the outside of it, we'll walk around to the back of this before we go inside. So this has a complete build out by Van Duit, and what's not included is the bottle of Windex, but that's going to help it stay clean. And then you're going to have the cabinets. Am I pulling this out there? Oh, wow. See, now that is a nice feature, guys. So I was pulling on the cabinet trying to get out, but actually if you push on it and then it slides out. That is really, really nice. So something that I haven't seen, to be honest. Of course, we don't get into a lot of the build outs on the insides of these, and we're lucky if we get to see them. But what's neat about the Van Duit build is going to be their use of the extruded aluminum material, really making the build out simple, but really clean and effective, as well as really modular. I definitely like that. And you're gonna have 2 big cabinets as I move this bed out of the way. And now that I know how to open the drawer, that is really impressive, because the last thing you want is your drawers just opening up and moving. And when that's closed, I'm pushing on that pretty good, and it's not opening up until I really shove on it. But in order for something like that to happen, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So I come to the back of this, and now you're going to get into a lot of the electronics of the Van Duit build here, as well as a fuse panel, breakers here, all push button. You're going to have all of your inverter and solar things in there. And then you're gonna have a whole bunch of toggles here as well. So really clean and simple and all concealed, so it's not gonna be getting, you know, filthy dirty. And then of course you guys want a bed. We're actually gonna work our way around to the other side of this. And please, you know, if there's something that I'm missing that you want to see on this Ford Transit, you know, ask me questions. I would be more than happy to answer them. We're gonna jump in this thing because it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna go take a seat up here in the passenger seat, really give you guys a good view of what this build out has in it. And this is what's neat, just showing you guys the ability to build out. Now this is going to be a mid-roof, and this is a short van. This is not going to be, you do have the option, I believe, to do the high roof van and extended. So, you know, a lot of different features. They got their skis. There's definitely no snow around here. And you're gonna see, and man, something to think about, even me not being that tall. I never thought I'd want a high roof, but man, I actually can't stand up. My head hits this, and I'm 5'10", and maybe I'm shrinking, but you know, I still can't quite stand up in it. But really clean. These guys obviously did a killer job on it, on the inside of it. And of course, you know, if you guys have questions on anything, you want to see something specific, let me know. So you're gonna have all your cups, and it looks like what's neat about this now is the hook system, which just hooks in there. It's gonna have that hook, so I could pretty much move that wherever I wanted to. So if there was specific gear on there, I could do that. All right, hey Jeremy, is this van available in the long wheelbase version and high roof? Yes, I do believe that it is available on, that you can do it, and we can also verify that with Mike in a minute. He is actually the Ford representative. So what do I let's see, trying to read comments. So definitely glad you guys like this. Thanks 8 overlanding for asking that. So yeah, give me a second. He's talking with somebody, and we'll go ask him to verify that you can do this in a long wheelbase high roof version. So, you know, of course, I want to go back to you, Castro 3. So as far as the lift, of course, you know, I'm kind of ridiculous. I like things lifted even higher. I like even more clearance. So I like getting a little bit wild on it. So I don't know that it would be enough of a lift for me. If you've seen, I am shrinking. Maybe I'm getting smaller, Cabo Joe. You know, who knows? I sure hope not. Well, I only hope that my stomach is shrinking, not the rest of me. I just need to slim down. You know, I got bikini season coming up, and I need to make sure that I'm looking darn sexy this bikini season. So, you know, and I will tell you one other thing about, you know, our systems, and you don't have to do it on every system, but I'm a big advocate for doing springs. You know, this build out is pretty lightweight and pretty straightforward. It doesn't look like it's adding a lot of weight to it, like some build outs you see, like, gosh, that thing's got to be heavy. I know we went through a Sprinter and a Dodge build out that looked just ginormous, or I mean, the build out looked heavy. So that was kind of one of those things where, you know, you wonder, like, is the suspension built adequately for the build of the vehicle? And we know from our experience, you know, with the Class C's and even the Class B's, a lot of these build outs, you know, did not have the proper springs under it in order to control the ride. So, you know, that's definitely something to consider. So what I like about this, we're going to move all the way up to the cockpit of this thing and check it out. So what I do like about this as well is you're going to see that it's going to have some switches built into it, which is going to be nice. So if I want to be able to hook up accessories, if that is already built into it, that's going to be really nice. So it's going to be my dome light. So you can see as I hit that button, and that's going to turn on and off. So that's really nice. You're going to have your cargo light, your accent light, and then also a rear light bar. As you can see, those are all illuminated. And what you're probably not going to get is a beautiful plant, but hey, it looks great in here. So you guys are pretty familiar. It doesn't look like many things has changed on the front end of it, as far as this is pretty standard. Even my 2018 looks similar. The only thing that it doesn't have is going to be this beautiful screen, which is going to be really nice, giving you all of your display in that. So the transit trail is built on the mid-roof, long, high roof length, and extended length, high single rear wheel. Van Duit is currently only taking deposits on the high roof, long, and see, so Jared right there, he is the man. So if you do have more questions, I mean, he is the one from Van Duit doing these awesome builds. So thanks Jared for chiming in and letting people know the available options that they're going to have in a Transit. So they didn't leave me the keys. I don't get to go drive this thing, but boy, would that be fun here in the desert, since we're already in quartzite, like, let's go have some fun. But this is going to look pretty similar. I want to say the only thing it doesn't have, and you guys will know this, is that cell phone killer pocket. What was that pocket for right there on the older Transits? Because if you put anything in it and closed it, you pretty much lost everything you had or broke it. So, I mean, this, I would say, not much has changed from the normal Transit. Pretty straightforward USB charging in the steering wheel. I'm wondering, most of these will even have the heated steering, which is definitely a great feature. Not seeing the button, but not saying that it doesn't have it. So Cockpit is not changing much. Some of the big things on the Transit trail is going to be that they're going to come standard with this right here, and that's going to be that swivel seat on the passenger side, which is going to be really nice to have that, not having to spend the extra money on that as well. Now, I will tell you this, guys, and this is one thing that I don't like about any of the seat swivels. Okay, so as I look at this seat, you're going to notice the height difference between the two seats because of the swivel. Okay, so that's the thing on this. I don't think it's going to matter as much. Okay, but because of the size of the roof, it doesn't matter. But I know in a lot of other vehicles, even in a standard roof Transit, if you were going to put the swivel on it, you start to sit too high. I'm not a huge fan of that. And there's, of course, things that you can do to make it better. But you definitely do sit up taller. So if you're short, you're going to love this seat because you're going to have more room. You're going to be able to see out that giant windshield, So that's definitely going to be a plus. And, paper towels are really close to you if you need it. You can see that down here we have a Dometic refrigerator. We're going to have water right there to supply our sink, which is going to be nice. Very easy to fill right there. And then this is all going to be on a slide system, so that can come out. So really simple to access. I think that's the key to a lot of this, is just making it simple and not overcomplicating things like you see in a lot of build outs. So, and then you can you push the button, slide that back in, except we're knocking towels off of this, so you got to keep this thing looking pretty. This show is going to end tomorrow at 3. So if you missed it, definitely you can talk to the guys over at Van Duit, and they could probably enlighten you on more. Us at Weldtec Designs, we obviously look forward to getting one of these, so that way, we can start playing with the suspension and having fun on it, because that's what we do at Weldtec Designs. We just like to mess around and play with suspension and do silly stuff. So I believe, what is the real world dealer price, not just MRC, on a low optioned? So this particular one, so just to be clear, so this is a complete build out, through Van Duit. So Van Duit can get the vehicle directly from Ford, and then they will do this build out. And what's great about that is it's going to be all under warranty. So if there is an issue with anything in here, Van Duit can assist you in finding a dealer in order to, better to equip whatever is going wrong with it. And I think that that's obviously going to be a big plus in having, Van Duit do a build out like this on the inside of your Ford Transit. Now, I think that that would be another huge thing is, I think people always ask us is, if you do suspension on the Ford Transit, is it going to, I'm going to come back out of this, is it going to, I'm going to shut this door so we get a good side look of this. So here it is, the Ford Transit with the door closed. I really like this color. It's not that carbonized silver, which is, I want to say, my favorite color. This is going to be that lighter, grayish color, which is, definitely nice. And of course for me, I love smashing on my Method, so I would probably have to go to a Method wheel. Now the biggest thing that I'm always curious on, so you can see that this is going to be the 6 lug standard on, most of the all-wheel drive van. And as we peek underneath there, you will see that it's going to still have the normal leaf springs in there as well. So there's kind of a peek underneath, behind the tire to, check out what is going on. And so, really you can see that on here, this is going to have a lot of ground clearance. Really the biggest thing on here is going to be the lowest thing is so there it is, some of the underneath, some of that, so hey, maybe that'll be the first thing we do is build a really cool skid plate to protect that. But really it's to protect that catalytic converter just in front of it so that those don't get stolen. I mean, that's a huge thing these days is catalytic converters getting stolen. So I want to say that that's the one thing that I don't believe, is going to be that I really liked having that power sliding door on my mid-roof Transit. That was really nice, having that. I know that it doesn't seem like that's a feature. And as I do this, oh no, it is. So what do I know? So there it is. Still power sliding. Maybe.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't going to want to deal with it. Have it there part of the
So maybe it's just due. Does this have power sliding door?
It does. It's an option.
Okay, but this particular model?
No.
So this is Mike. He's the man from Ford. Look at that awesome Ford banner behind him. So I know people were asking a little bit, Mike. So from Ford, just as the base model. So this model without a build out, what are we roughly looking at as far as price?
About 68,000.
Okay, so there it is, about 68,000. And then when talking to the people at Van Duit, we're looking at roughly 120 for a build out like this. Roughly, and that's the thing, guys. Keep in mind when you start to do your build out, there's so many things that you can add to it that start to add up. But the key things on this are going to be that the lift is it's already included. We're running a larger tire on here. It's going to have the max air fan that's going to come as part of it. And then a swivel seat base as well.
Max air fan is an option.
Oh, okay. So that's going to be an option, not standard. So good to know. Good to clear that up. And then, but all of them will have the swivel seat base.
Yep.
And then what would you say are
seats, not just the base.
Swivel seats? Right. And now driver and passenger?
Correct.
Okay. So this particular model only has the passenger for the show purposes.
Correct.
Right. But normal would come with a driver and passenger swivel seat on them. And then what would be the other big features that this is going to have? What am I missing?
Did you cover 4-wheel drive or all-wheel
All-wheel drive. So that's the thing. So these will all come all-wheel drive with the lift, bigger tires, max air fan is an option, and swivels.
runner?
Oh, the running boards. We did talk about those running boards right there. So there you have it. We did talk, and it's going to be, let's go over to the other side and make sure, but it's going to have the running boards full length on both sides, which is going to be nice as well. That's pretty cool, you know, having that full length running board. And then if you're going to add a ladder to it, you know, and start accessorizing this, we know that there's a bunch of different companies that are going to make you know, pieces and parts for this Ford Transit Trail. I do like that, the keyless entry, and also the Ford Pass. I think that that's a big thing as well. You know, having that Ford Pass is also, you know, I like having that as a feature, being able to unlock it, lock it, I mean, and even be able to have that remote start on it. So another thing you can see on the front of this is it's going to have a little bit more of a grill guard on there, and you can see that it's going to have the sensors on it as well. And we'll poke our heads all the way underneath it, and you can just kind of see all of what's going on underneath the bottom of this. And this is kind of all the fun stuff for me, but you know, getting you off-road, getting you off the grid, that's going to be one of the key things. You know, idea behind this transit trail is giving you a platform that you can easily do that, as well as you know, you don't have to worry about, you know, maybe lifting it more if that's what you want to do. I mean, you're getting a good sized tire on there without having to without having to, you know, do, you know, gearing options, you know, because that's a big thing on this. So yeah, we're just peeking our head in here. And guys, of course, if we miss you during this live stream, you know, be sure to you know, post your comments and questions underneath this video. I will be happy to, you know, answer whatever I can about this this build. So pretty cool. Chevy Express forever. Hey, you know what? I might actually agree with you. Pago Dolls, I'm going to totally mess that up because, you know, I'm going to say I'm still a fan of that full frame chassis. You know, I like that. You know, definitely. I like having the frame. You know, like really. So as we walk around this thing, just want to make sure I'm showing it off. You know, there's going to be your cameras up there as well. That's going to be really nice. So overall, and there it is. I don't know if we talked about it, but that's pretty cool having these, you know, big skirting on there, because the last thing you want is, you know, the wheels, the tires kicking up a lot of debris on your, you know, new paint or plastic. That's definitely something bad. Now, I know a lot of you guys, if you have drive these in the snow a lot, I also hear that people aren't really a big fan of the steps, you know, just because they tend to collect a lot of snow. So always love hearing your opinion, because where we're at in San Diego, obviously we don't get, you know, a ton of snow. So we don't get any snow. We get sun and all kinds of fun stuff. So these are definitely going to be cool. You know, I like that, having that fender flare. I think that that's a good look, you know, kind of similar to what we make in some of our fiberglass products. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to wrap this up. And if you have questions, like I said, this is the Ford Transit Trail, and this is all built out by Van Do It. And you can buy a van all done from them just like this. Go to vandoit.com. Check them out. I'll make sure to put a link to them as well in this description when I make it, guys. But thanks for hanging out. Thanks to the people at Van Do It and at Ford for letting me come over and bug them all week while I was out here. Definitely thank you, Andy, and thank you, Michael, for I hope you guys found this informative, you know, got to take a look at it, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more questions. And hopefully you'll see one of these in our shop at Weldtec Designs real soon. And that's all I got. I'm Jeremy, guys, from Weldtec Designs. And wait, this wouldn't be complete if I didn't close this out, you know, with a smash at the end, you know. So that's it. That's all I got. I'll see you guys in the next video.
The signature smash. You gotta have something, right? You gotta have that.
Something.
What do
Yeah.
I remember Jeremy from?